please. Thank you, Mrs. Cooper, for being here today, participating in our EASMC endorsement process. The interview will be recorded and posted to our YouTube page and on our website. Please speak up clearly so your answers can be heard. And once the questioning starts. My name is Dwayne Hancock. I'm the EASMC Vice President.
My name is Tiffany Pelton. I'm a Building Service Manager at George Washington Carver.
Jennifer Knight, kindergarten paraeducator at George Washington Carver.
Alexis Brown, Community School Coordinator at Springwood Middle School.
Okay, Mrs. Cooper, your first question. First of all, the reference, the term educator means all employees who work for St. Mary's County Public Schools. So we're all educators. The first question is, tell us about yourself, your background, and what is your motivation for running for the Board of Education?
Okay. I grew up in New York, near New York City. Family business was in Manhattan. When my husband and I got married, we moved down to, well, we were in D.C. for 4 years. While my husband went to dental school, I finished nursing school, and we thought that St. Mary's County would be a wonderful place for him to start a dental practice, so we ended up down here. My very first job down here was as the school nurse hired at Green Holly School, which at the time was only for children with disabilities, and it was the only center in the county, so all the children went there. First year EIPs and IEPs, excuse me. It's been a while. And I was, as I said, the only school nurse in the county. The year after, it all exploded and all of the schools started getting school nurses, and it was a different story. I was only there for 1 year. I took some time off to have a family, and then thought that teaching would be a wonderful thing to do. So I went back to school, got the certificate. Took 2 more years, so I have 6 years of undergrad, and I loved it. Taught kindergarten at Lovehill School, because that's what it was called at the time, and then 3rd grade at Banneker Elementary. Again, it was called Banneker Elementary, it wasn't Benjamin Banneker yet, and absolutely adored it. At Carver, I became a resource teacher in the old Carver, and as it was transitioning to the new building, so I was in on some of the building planning of the new building, and I've been on several committees for building planning. I was a resource there, and then finally moved up as supervisor of reading for the county. I loved it. I mean, that my responsibilities included the resource teachers for the county, doing their professional development and so on, and the monthly meetings. A lot of teacher observations, evaluations. I did, I think, 75 my first year, if I'm not mistaken. What else? Oh my gosh, it was just an all-encompassing job. Assessments for the county, curriculum and instruction was the department, of course, and middle school, including middle school, and we were just bringing reading into middle school, which was really important because we were just changing over. Is this too long, by the way, for this answer? Is this too long?
No.
Okay, because I could go on, and I will try to button this one down. But reading at middle school was a struggle at that point because the English teachers really hadn't been trained to be reading teachers, and we were putting all sorts of new programs based on the 5 areas of reading that kids needed to master in order to be successful. At the lower grades, with interventions and so on, and the kindergarten, Dibbles, I was responsible for that. Thank you very much. But the middle school was lagging behind, and those kids were not as able readers as they should have been. So we incorporated another period so they could get those skills, and we put interventions in at that stage. And at any rate, I enjoyed the heck out of it. I loved it. I absolutely adored it. I retired in 2011 and went on to do other things.
Thank you.
That's fair.
If elected, what are your top 3 priorities?
The top 3 priorities, it's going to sound kind of global, but my number 1 priority would be anything to do with student achievement, because that's what we're here for. It's our goal. Now that encompasses so many different pieces that it's really hard to break it down. But student achievement, staff support, definitely, because I've been there and I know what it's like to try to get everything done in the hours we have, with the class sizes we have, with the planning time we have, and I'm not talking just teachers, I understand that, we're talking everybody, we're talking, it takes a village, it takes a total village. My third priority is I really have 4, but my third one is the infrastructure of the total system. We have buildings, we have equipment, we have all of those items that are so important. We can't do our jobs properly if we aren't supported, if the kids don't have really nice class, when they say nice, very, very clean, large spaces to learn. It's very, very important. I'm going to take one little funny trail on that one. When I was teaching 3rd grade, for 1 year, I volunteered to share a room with the art teacher. And the room was not a regular room. It had been the home ec room in the old Banneker building with big counters that were sticking out throughout. So there was very little space in there, and with art stuff in there, it was a challenge. And so when Banneker they did the renovation, I truly, truly knew what it was like to have taught in a very difficult situation, and it was, it was a challenge. But anyway, the 4th priority I would have are the processes. You talk about transportation, you talk about how things are ordered, you talk about all of those types of things. Ideas people have that are great ideas, but who do you tell? And who's listening? All of those, the public, how are you really, really taking what they say and incorporating that, and not just saying, yes, that's a great idea, but then it goes no further. I really think that how things are done in every single aspect of all of those other areas is important. So I feel like there's 4 priorities. Mostly it often runs down to, unfortunately, funding. So priority, again, maybe priority 5, although it's probably priority everything, is how do you get the funding to do the things you need to do.
Thank you.
As a Board of Education member, will you support the Education Support Professionals Bill of Rights?
Yes, I did read it, and I agree with it. I don't understand, I don't have enough knowledge to speak to one aspect of it, which was I'm going blank, isn't it funny? The aspect of when you retire, you get the benefits and all of that. I'm not sure, because it's all state, it's tied up with the state retirement system. I'm not sure how that works as far as us getting from here to here. But yes, I'm all for it. I think there's nobody more important to me, and it was my best friend. The first person I met when I started teaching was the building custodian, because honestly, he was the heart and soul of that school, and he cared more about that school, I think, than all of us put together. So, does he deserve the same retirement benefits that the rest of us have? Absolutely. So, that's my opinion.
Thank you.
Other counties have enacted a zero-tolerance discipline policy. Do you feel that SMCPS needs to reevaluate its discipline policy, or how would you update it or change it?
I will be honest with you that I'm not as familiar with this aspect of the school system as I should be. I just decided to file about 2.5 weeks ago, and I have been out of the system since 2011. It doesn't mean that I haven't kept up, and I have grandchildren. I have one grandchild right now in the system. I'm not sure what our policy exactly is in terms of that, so I'm not sure, but I would love to learn about it. Obviously, I have a lot to learn, and I will learn. Mhm.
Thank you. As a member of the Board of Education, how will you incorporate the expertise of educators throughout the county when you're making a decision about schools?
How will I incorporate the,
Expertise of the teachers and educators around the county when you're making a decision?
like everything else I do, I listen. I'm a talker, you probably figured that out by now, but I'm a listener too, and I truly am impressed with good ideas no matter where they come from, and I don't forget. I think that you have to listen to the experts. I'm no longer the expert, for instance, in reading. I used to be, I'm not now. So you listen to what's going on now, you listen to the latest research. I know that a lot of the departments do presentations for the board. The public commentary. But by getting out there and talking to parents, for instance, if you were in a school and you're invited to come to some event, going around and chatting with people, finding out what people are thinking, and if they feel comfortable coming to you and talking to you and giving you their opinion, I think that's the best way to go. So listening and respecting other viewpoints, even if they might not sound like what you would agree with at first glance. You really need to give everybody a chance.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Other than salary, what part of the certificated negotiated agreement do you feel would attract and retain more certificated staff to St. Mary's County? What part of the support professionals negotiated agreement do you feel would attract and retain more ESPs to St. Mary's County Public Schools? If you could change one thing from each contract, what would it be and why?
Okay. Already, I know it's hard to retain teachers. And when I say teachers, let's talk educators. I know it's hard to retain folks that are really good. A lot of it tends to be the fact that we are in a peninsula. We are in a fairly isolated area in terms of, well, let's face it, when you're here, you have to go, as they say, up the road to get to a lot of places and things you might want to do and socialize, especially the younger people, and that's a problem. We do pretty well, I think, attracting those professionals or the professionals, paraprofessionals, and others who have relatives in the area or grew up here, because they do come home. However, people that are not from here and are not familiar with here, that's a little more of a challenge. So salary, of course, is always important. However, I think in order to stay, what makes people want to stay is that they feel like they are a valued member of the staff and a valued member of the community. And the number one reason for job satisfaction, I've been told, and I believe, is that you feel listened to. You feel like you have agency. You feel like you have a choice in what's going on, and you're not just being told to do more and more and more without any say. And one example of that is when the professional development is done, and you go for a day, you do the professional development, and that's kind of the end of that. All of a sudden, you're expected to do A, B, and C based on the professional development. The best way to go about something like that is to, after professional development, have several more opportunities to talk over what you heard, what you saw, whether it might work for you in the classroom. Hey, I'd like to try that, or geez, I'm not sure that would work for me, I'd like to try it a different way. You get all of those opinions, you get back together, you talk it over, did it work, did it not work? People feel like when they are part of the process, they have more value in staying with the process. And I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but feeling that you're being heard by your bosses or your coworkers is invaluable. And I think being given extra, some important responsibilities is great as well, as long as you weren't compensated for them.
Thank you.
SMCPS is made up of a diverse student population. How will you support reflecting that diversity in school staff?
Oh, I truly, am all for recruiting outside of our area. I myself have gone to Boston, where was I sent? I was sent to Buffalo 1 year to recruit. It's a challenge because, again, people have to want to come here and want to engage with our community. So you need to reach out, invite folks, come for a day. We'd love to have you come visit our school system. We'd like to show you what we have to offer. We would value you doing that. And I think that there were efforts going on when I was in central administration. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing now in that area, but again, you have to reach out and you just have to keep at it. But diversity is more than the color of one's skin or perhaps how somebody practices their religion. Diversity also to me is, our some of our educators with disabilities, some of our educators that, have other types of differences. I think everyone brings to the table just such a rich environment for kids when they meet people of other, who have other experiences and other backgrounds.
Thank you.
In your view, what challenges do you see the children in our county facing as they work to be successful in our schools?
Oh, wow. Well, one of the biggest challenges that I see is the pace at which technology is racing along, and it's really hard to keep up with. I mean, what you all are facing now compared to when I was in the classroom is phenomenally different. We didn't have cell phones back then. We didn't have any of that. So that's really hard. And now we're AI and other things that could be great tools for us can also create real problems. So those are the challenges we have to keep up with, and while keeping everybody's rights intact, we have to be careful with what the kids are dealing with.
Thank you. That concludes our questions for today.